I say, Cushing's Bookshelf, episode 20. Edgar Allan Poe's Richmond. The Raven in the River City. I say, boy. And welcome back to Cushing's Bookshelf. And as you can tell, sparing no expense this week, this is our special effect, Edgar Allan Poe, speaking in the voice of Foghorn Leghorn, the old Looney Tunes character, which, of course, we know scientifically, historically, is an accurate portrayal of his voice. He sounded just like Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, that was my little special effect for the week, such as it was. But without any further ado, let's actually pull down from the bookshelf this week's book, Edgar Allan Poe's Richmond, The Raven in the River City, by Christopher P. Semtner. What can I say about this book? I've only just started it to begin with. Like, literally, I was uncertain about what to read next. I've been uncertain about what to read next really for a couple of weeks, and I think it's because I'm doing edits and revisions on my novel. I just actually finished up the very last of the edits and revisions of the novel before it goes out to print and everything. So between working on that and working for edits and revisions of my novella coming out in October, I believe, and the novel coming out in August, things have just been really fiction heavy, and my eyes and my brain have been fused into fiction of my own. And so I think that's when I tend to turn to nonfiction as a little palate cleanser. And so far, this book is already pretty interesting. One of the things I like about it is it's deep in the Poe family lore. And Poe is one of those writers who we all think we know just because we read him in elementary school or middle school or high school or wherever. But if you revisit Poe as an adult, I think you get a much richer experience, and your understanding of Poe is much more in depth than what your school teachers were able to provide. So, yeah, this is an interesting book. So far, it's going over family history and the death of his mother, and the fact that his father just kind of vanished at one point. Had an argument with the mom and just kind of split town, and nobody knows what happened to his father. And mother died tragically of tuberculosis. And before she died, it's just kind of interesting to Edgar's foster father. I'm now quoting from the book. To Edgar's foster father, John Allan, she entrusted some old letters that supposedly contained a dark family secret, quote unquote. His mother-in-law, Maria Clem, later hinted that they contained and this is another quote, dark family troubles that had worried Eddie, end quote. And the author goes on to say, at Edgar's death, Clem burned these letters per his request, and Edgar took that secret with him to his grave. So, fascinating stuff, and I can't wait to get more into it. Maybe I'll work on my Foghorn Leghorn impersonation some more before next week. Until then, later.